long before he became a baseball legend. Satchel Paige grew up in poverty in Mobile, Alabama. His family struggled to survive. And as a young boy, life was filled with challenges. But Satchel possessed a remarkable gift. His throwing arm was unlike anything people had ever seen. Even as a child, he could throw with incredible speed and accuracy. After getting into trouble during his teenage years, Satchel was sent to a reform school. Ironically, that decision changed his life forever. There, a baseball coach taught him proper pitching mechanics and helped him turn his natural talent into something extraordinary. Satchel practiced every chance he got, day after day, pitch after pitch. Soon, his reputation spread across the country. He joined the Negro Leagues, where he quickly became the most feared pitcher in the game. His fastball overwhelmed hitters. His confidence entertained crowds, and his personality made him one of the biggest attractions in baseball. Fans packed stadiums just to watch him pitch. Many believed Satchel Paige was the greatest pitcher in America, but because of segregation, he wasn't allowed to play in Major League Baseball. While less talented players built careers in the major leagues, Satchel spent year after year proving himself in the Negro Leagues. He traveled thousands of miles, played hundreds of games, and continued dominating almost every batter who stepped into the box. As the years passed, many feared that Satchel's dream of reaching the major leagues would never come true. He wasn't getting younger. Most baseball players retire in their 30s. Satchel was already approaching an age when many believed a pitcher's best years were behind him. But history was about to change. Baseball itself was beginning to change. And after waiting longer than anyone ever should have, Satchel Paige was finally about to receive the opportunity he had spent his entire life chasing. After years of waiting, the impossible finally happened. In 1948, at the age of 42, Satchel Paige signed with the Cleveland Indians. Most players had already retired by that age. Many critics believed he was too old. They said his best days were behind him. Satchel didn't argue. He simply stepped onto the mound and let his pitching do the talking. From his very first appearances, fans witnessed something extraordinary. His fastball still exploded past hitters. His control remained remarkable, and his confidence never faded. The same pitcher who had dominated the Negro Leagues for decades was now proving he belonged on baseball's biggest stage. That season, Satchel helped the Cleveland Indians capture the asterisk 1948 World Series 星星, becoming one of the oldest rookies in Major League history and a symbol of perseverance. But for Satchel, success was never just about winning games. He inspired a generation of young black athletes by proving that talent deserves opportunity. His story showed that greatness can never be measured by age, race, or the obstacles placed in your path. Even as he grew older, Satchel continued pitching professionally, amazing fans with his endurance and love for the game. His passion never disappeared. Years later, baseball finally gave him another well-deserved honor. In 1971, Satchel Paige became the first former Negro League player inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It was recognition that had taken far too long. Today, historians believe that if segregation had never existed, Satchel Paige might have become one of the winningest pitchers in Major League Baseball history. Although exact statistics can never tell the full story, his impact on the game is undeniable. He entertained crowds, he inspired generations, and he opened doors for players who followed. Satchel Paige once said, "Don't look back. Something might be gaining on you." Those words reflected the way he lived. He refused to dwell on missed opportunities. Instead, he kept moving forward, proving himself every time he stepped onto the mound. His legacy isn't just about baseball. It's about resilience, patience, and believing in yourself even when the world refuses to believe in you. From the dusty streets of Alabama to the bright lights of Major League Baseball, Satchel Paige's journey reminds us that sometimes the greatest victory isn't arriving first. It's never giving up until you finally get your chance. But Satchel Paige's story was never only about the day he finally reached Major League Baseball. It was about the years of struggle, patience, and determination that came before that moment. Long before signing with the Cleveland Indians, Satchel had already become a legend in the Negro Leagues. He traveled across the country, playing in front of thousands of fans and facing some of the best hitters of his generation. His talent was impossible to ignore, but his journey was about more than throwing a baseball. Satchel Paige represented something much bigger. At a time when segregation prevented many black athletes from competing at the highest level, he continued to chase excellence and prove that talent has no boundaries. He faced rejection, unfair treatment, and years of waiting. But he never allowed those challenges to define him. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his preparation, his performance, and his belief in himself. Paige became known not only for his incredible pitching ability, but also for his personality and confidence. He understood that baseball was more than a game. It was a way to inspire people. Every time he stepped onto the mound, he showed young athletes that their dreams were worth pursuing, even when the path was difficult. His major league debut at 42 years old was not the beginning of his greatness. It was the world finally recognizing what many fans had known for years. Satchel Paige had always been one of the greatest pitchers of his era. His story also helped bring attention to the many talented Negro League players whose achievements had been overlooked. They were athletes who competed at the highest level, despite facing barriers that had nothing to do with their ability. Because of players like Satchel Paige, baseball slowly moved toward a more inclusive future. His legacy continues because it represents more than records or victories. It represents courage, it represents patience, and it represents the power of believing in yourself when others doubt you. Satchel Paige proved that a delayed opportunity is not a denied opportunity. When his moment finally arrived, he was ready, and he showed the world that greatness cannot be hidden forever. Even after baseball, Satchel Paige remained an inspiration to athletes everywhere. His journey proved that setbacks cannot defeat determination, and that true greatness comes from persistence, courage, and believing in yourself until the world finally sees your potential.